how do you actually find A players? We use a method we call the George Foreman method. And the reason we call it the George Foreman method is because you give them a real good grilling. And the way that you do it is, firstly, you've got to know who it is that you're looking for. Like, who is an A player? What is it that makes them an A player? Get really clear on the type of person that you're looking for. And by drawing out these maps that I talked about, you'll know who you should be hiring. And then you want to make sure that you write an ad that hooks them. So this is, again, where sales comes into it. When I wrote an ad on Seek just recently for the position that Sally just filled, we had well over 100 applicants come through our process and apply for that position, and we sort of whittled it down to the cream of the crop, and then you're looking at the cream right over there. And that process, it came about writing an ad that spoke to the person that we were looking to hire. So I mean, when we hired Adrian and we sat down with Ben, my current, like the other video guy who was there before Adrian, and we talked about, well, what is it that's important to someone who's making video? What they want to make sure that they're making videos that are going to get seen on a worldwide audience. That's what so I wrote that into the ad. If you're someone who's interested in video, who's looking to learn how to use web video because it's the way of the future, and you want to get a worldwide audience and get your stuff seen all around the world, then you better read this ad, because you might have found what it is that you're looking for. And that's how we sort of opened it. So you want to make sure that you write those ads correctly. Then you make sure that we advertise the position. After we advertise it, we've just shifted something recently now, and it's working really well for us. Rather than getting people to send in different resumes, we send them straight from the job ad to go ahead and fill out a survey. They go out and fill a 20-minute survey first. And what does that do? That means we don't have to look through all of the resumes that come through, because a whole lot of people are just going to disqualify themselves because they won't take the time or make the effort to fill out the survey. And the person who won't fill out the survey isn't an A player anyway, so I don't want them. So that's a good thing. And then of the people who do fill it out, a lot of people, they might not fill out all of the questions. Okay, well, if you can't be bothered with something as easy as filling out a survey, then chances are when you come through to actually doing the job, you're probably going to let other things slide as well. So having that questionnaire up front has worked really well for us. And then after that, then we get them to send in a resume. We pre-screen the resumes and look for certain attributes. These days now, and early on I used to take on people who hadn't had any experience, but now I really like people who've at least had some experience. It just makes it easier to work with. And then we get them to complete a small task. So if you imagine each step of this, we run a job ad, we get lots of applicants, then we pre-screen it, then we ask them to do a small task. This is before they even get to an interview. So I sent Sally an email and said, can you write an email? We've got a client who is having trouble playing some DVDs. Can you write him an email and what would you say to him? So Sally wrote up that email, and we said, we're running a workshop. Can you put together a spreadsheet? We're just a few little small easy tasks. It's not meant to be complicated or anything like that. It's just to see how they go with the small things. Like Sally, I think one of the things that made yours stand out, very good attention to detail. Like, I mean, there was, it looked like she'd actually thought through it. And I think with the email that you sent, you put it almost like on a Melbourne SEO letterhead, and you coloured the S and the E and the O, and we were like, oh, it's good attention to detail. And then the final stage is interviewing, and we do that top grading style. So there's a good book, if you haven't read it, by Brad Smart called Top Grading, and it's all about how to interview. And the long and the short of it is you want to make sure that when you interview people, you interview them to find out about their history and their past, because you'll often find people have reoccurring themes. If you interview someone and they said, oh yeah, I used to work for this place, the reason I left is, the boss was an absolute arse, he was always on my back. And then the next job, they say, oh yeah, so I worked here, and so why did you end up leaving that job? Oh, you wouldn't believe it, the boss there, such an arse, he was always on my back. And then so you moved on to this new position, so why did you leave there? And it's the same recurring thing. And they don't notice it when they're going through, but it's quite obvious when someone has this same recurring theme that the problem isn't necessarily the job. There's a good chance that they are the problem and they just keep on going to the same problem. So you know, we have two people, like actually it was three, Age and Ben were in there, and usually it's one person doing the interviewing, asking the questions, and then one person who's scribing and writing down sort of answers and stuff like that. So that way I can focus on the questions and the scribe can then focus on making sure that they get all of the answers down and things like that. So if you imagine, that's a massive filtering process, and that's how you get A players, and that's how you'll grow your business incredibly quickly.